Madame la Présidente,
Madam President, Secretary General of the United Nations, Heads of Delegation, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor and privilege to address you on behalf of President Captain Ibrahim Traore, President of Burkina Faso, Head of State, during this session, to convey the voice of the dignified, honest people of Burkina Faso. I would therefore like to convey fraternal greetings to you, to all citizens of the world committed to peace and freedom. Madam President, on behalf of Burkina Faso, I would like warmly to congratulate you upon your election to the presidency of this, the 80th session. Your election bears witness to the trust of the international community in your leadership, your ability to listen to other views, and to dialogue. In Burkina Faso, you will find a sincere, constructive, and committed partner. I would also like to express my gratitude to your predecessor, Mr. Philemon Yang. My gratitude for the high quality and rigor of the work he undertook during the previous session. Madam President, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, Burkina Faso fully aligns itself with the statement delivered on behalf of the Alliance of Sahel States by the Republic of Mali.
How can you want to impose democracy by killing millions of people? That's dictatorship, that's not democracy. It can't be imposed. Those who call themselves Democrats. But look, we've seen scenes where people were prevented from entering assemblies. We've seen scenes where forces stormed into assemblies to force the deputies to pass legislation. We've seen scenes worse than that, where people kill their protesters, yet they call themselves Democrats, and we are labeled as coup plotters. If this is democracy, I repeat, we do not want this democracy. And when you often see the incompetent, they don't seek to understand what the word democracy really means. They just cling to the definition he gave imperialism, and they start talking of democracy without really knowing the foundation. That's incompetence. We need to seek knowledge, to understand, to look at the world in order to redefine democracy the way we want it in Africa. I think they haven't understood.
Because misfortune, if I may say so, we are not united. We don't see things the same way. Some are afraid, some are hesitant, some are there for the interests of other people. The West, there are people who grew up over there, did everything over there, and then they come and are made heads of state in Africa. So they're the ones who control all of that. And so Africa can't have its own opinion. So as soon as we came to power, we had hoped that we would be allowed to work quickly and make progress. Unfortunately, some people approached us and wanted us to go along with them because their goal was not for the war to end anytime soon. I'm talking about certain foreign forces that were present on our soil. We had heated debates with diplomats from elsewhere on the matter, but no one wanted us to move toward ending this war. We understood this through the messages. If people actually came to us and told us that we had to accept them supporting the terrorists while also supporting us, it means exactly what it sounds like. It's a war being deliberately maintained. So we quickly understood and we got rid of all the forces that were present here, whether French or American forces, and we realized that the real struggle would come afterward.
Guys, today I'm doing this video very late at 11 p.m. But okay, let me tell you the reason. It's because we recently lost our hero, Raila Amolo Odinga, and he's being celebrated everywhere. And even in my town currently, I don't know if the mic will be able to pick the sound from outside. Yeah, people are celebrating his life, They really appreciate him. In today's video, it's all about Pan-Africanism. What Raila Odinga did was to fight for the rights of Kenyans. And that is the same thing that Ibrahim Traore is currently doing. The only difference between the two is that Raila Amolo Odinga never got a chance to lead. He had good intentions, but something always went wrong when it came to voting. I don't know if it was us or if it was the system, because it's believed that in 2007 and 22, general elections in Kenya, he won. Actually, if you watch this media space, from the time he passed, a lot of people have celebrated him. The reason as to why I think he just wanted to punish us, the Kenyans, is when he came out and said that, okay, when we discovered that his will stated that he wanted to be buried within 72 hours after his death. So for me, I would take that as a strong message to Kenyans that whenever somebody comes out and is really fighting for your rights, you should always appreciate him, give him a chance. And once they're given a chance, you'll be able to know if whether they had a good intentions or bad intentions. I understand that most people, when they just come to power, everything that they promised during their campaign is like a rest in their mind, and they're in the business of making themselves rich. But anyway, guys, this video is all about Ibrahim Traore, the president of Africa. Ibrahim Traore has the same vision, or he has always had the same vision as that of Thomas Sankara, as that of Muammar Gaddafi, and so many other Pan-Africanists. And it's really unfortunate that those who came out earlier and opened our consciousness and told us that, this colonialism is not good for you, it's there to harm you. And by then most of us had not gone to school. Okay, our parents, they didn't go to school, they are not learned. So probably in the 1950s there, how could you tell somebody that this is not helping you? And yet on the other hand, they are being told that, the Bible tells us you should always listen to your superior. The superior being the whites, and if there is something that the Americans are really complaining about, not really Americans, South Africans, it's white supremacy. That's something that someone like Julius Malema, another Pan-Africanist, is really complaining about. He does not have any problem in them being in South Africa, but he has a problem with them when it comes to the supremacy that they have. Like, they look down on South Africans, the black South Africans, and we know the black South Africans make up a huge percentage of the population. For them, they only make like 10.8% of the population. But imagine, guys, they own 72% of agricultural land in South Africa. Does that make sense? Does it make sense? Of course, no. No, not at all. President of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore, sent a representative for the UNGA, United Nations General Assembly, that took place like some few days ago. And the guy really represented him well, and he did put out the points and the visions of Ibrahim Traore. Okay, this guy, he knows that he's not liked, and the West, and also those in Europe and the Americans, they really want him, out here, because number one, when he came into power, he chased the French people. He chased them out of Burkina Faso. Number two, all the media stations that belonged to France and also America, he was like, no, you cannot be here, because the only thing that you want to spread is that our government is bad and that what you are doing for us is okay. And that is pure misleading the population. And I was like, to hell, no, you need to get out of here. And they actually went. He also went to the mining areas and he chased every company out that mined there, because number one, they were engaging in child labor. They were using cheap labor by, engaging the kids to do the work, and at the end of the day, they are paying them peanuts. So he was like, go out, we are going to the mines became state owned, and it has really improved, because every profit that they are getting from there, they are actually using it to build the nation. Burkina Faso in itself, it has become better than how it was, like, for 27 years. Remember, they actually assassinated Thomas Sankara. And Sankara, when he was elected as the prime minister of Burkina Faso, he changed Burkina Faso in 4 good years. He fought for the women's rights. He ensured that a very good percentage of the population was vaccinated. There was food security, and the country was so well. Unfortunately, they used his friend, and the friend, assassinated him. The friend came into power and became a puppet for 27 good years, until Ibrahim Traore came in, and we thank God, because Ibrahim Traore has really inspired a lot of people including me. I really get inspired by Ibrahim Traore. I get inspired by the president in Mali. I get inspired by the president in Niger. I get inspired by the South Africa's EFF party, Julius Malema. I get inspired by the president of Namibia, whom do we call Nandi Ndaitwah. I really get inspired by these people, because they believe in us, they believe in African resources, and they are saying, like, African resources should be for Africans, not for the West, which is happening like 90%. And my good people, I truly appreciate that there exist people like Raila Amolo Odinga who are not fearful at all. In Uganda, we have Bobby Wine. Recently, he was just near where I live. It's only that I'd gone for work. I would have joined him. Okay, it was an holiday, yeah, but I was doing something else. So if you watch that clip, so thousands of people gathered around the hotel that Bobby Wine was sleeping and resting, and he had to come out. Of course, he has a timetable of how he's doing his campaigns. Remember, the general election in Uganda is happening in January 2026, and he has been really trying to liberate the people of Uganda. Has had one president for like so many years, since 1982 up to now. I don't know why African leaders, once they get into power, and it's really difficult for them get out of it. And I really thank God for the late Prime Minister of Kenya, Raila Amolo Odinga. If it wasn't for him, we would still be having one family as the president. And dictatorship is one of the worst things that can happen to a citizen of any country of the world. So guys, thank you so much if you watched this particular video up to this point. I appreciate your presence. I'll see you in the next one, right? I love you. Subscribe to the channel.